Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, August 10th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call, and it's always a surprise, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. The God, okay, we're familiar with that word. Higher, the soul, the God, lives at the center of your soul. Do not delude yourself by imagining your source to be some God outside you. Your source is within yourself. Give yourself up to it. Seek the source within and merge with it. Ramana Maharishi. We live in a world that ignores the fact that a supreme, divine, all-loving intelligence lives within us. We've been programmed to believe that we are spiritually disconnected and must fix our broken selves to feel whole and reconnected again. Pretty nifty, right? We don't realize it. Yet we are just used to feeling spiritually numb. And as we have been plagued every day of our lives by an overly materialistic society which is constantly seducing us with its glorified billion-dollar hypnotic media programming, we have contracted a deep case of spiritual amnesia and have forgotten how to relax into our spiritual essence and find our own intimate connection with the divine. This everyday ignorance of our spiritual nature is the greatest lie mankind is living today. It is the cause of every moment of suffering each human being is enduring right now, somewhere on this planet. One may think this spiritual drought was created by mankind, coincidentally, and is not part of the grand divine design. Nothing, as we know, is by coincidence or without purpose in this universe. This blind ignorance is within us all on purpose, so that we move more passionately towards a state of awakening. These intense levels of disconnection only drive us deeper inside ourselves to find our soul. This lifetime, not all the other lifetimes, but this one. And we're here for what? What are we here for? To be a deeply enlightening experience this lifetime. Is there anything more important than knowing how to access your own direct personal connection to an all-powerful, deeply eternal, loving source of highly intelligent, creative energy that has the magical power to manifest anything your heart desires? There's nothing more vital to finding happiness in this life than knowing one's spiritual connection, and nothing more exciting than a proven way to access it, which works every single time. No matter how ridiculously stuck any of us feel about our financial situation, our relationships, our health, our sex life, and future. there is always a way to reach freedom. If and when you wish to gain a greater spiritual perspective in life, make the choice. Make it now to clarify your personal relationship with the divine. You can see just how far you've come on your spiritual journey by taking the risk to answer these following questions. 5 of them. Ask yourselves, what is stopping you from always being in communion with God? What is stopping any of us from always being in communion with God? What exactly is our relationship with God like? And understand, this is not man-made religion. Nowhere near it. What exactly is your relationship with God like? What does it feel like when you are having a truly intimate connection with God? How often do you recognize and connect with the divine aspects of yourself? How often do you recognize and connect with the divine aspects of yourself? How is your life different when living with this connection versus without it? The longer any of us sit with these questions and feel into our answers, the deeper we will dig into our souls and eventually discover our spiritual connection. It is never too late to try and connect. Even if you have wasted 75 years. I don't believe any of us waste anything. Well, let's just say, even after 75 years in life, in this life, on a gluttonous, frivolous, mindless activities, feeling perpetually lost in a superficial life, the God source is still there. The door to the divine is always open. And God is waiting for you to come in. When you take 1 step towards God, God will take 10 steps towards you. Make time to redefine your relationship with the divine. And I guarantee that your precious time will not be in vain. Still, and single-pointed into the now, we can instantly find that deeply alive spiritual feeling inside. The God source already exists within the heart and at the core of our souls. As we relax into this place, a timeless, deeply eternal, loving, conscious energy sneaks into us and relaxes every cell and fiber of our very being. I find that God is the most mysterious thing in this universe, perhaps because it is the universe. God exists in everyone and everything, including those people who you think are deeply disconnected. Have you ever wondered, how can such an amazing presence be so spatially close to us and still be so difficult to feel and see? It's like trying to look into your own eyes without a mirror. We look out at life through these tiny black holes in our eyes, taking them for granted and not realizing they exist at all because they are so close to us. When something is too close to us, we are often unaware how precious it is. The same applies to noticing God. We are unaware of God until we take a step back and look deeper into our own reflection in the great mirror that is all around us. Realization of the self is realization of God. It is not an experience of God. Rather, it is an understanding that one is God. From admiration. You may discover that God is more like a mysterious infinite energy that some fixed stagnant entity, right? More of a mysterious infinite energy than some fixed stagnant entity. The great is-ness is instantly found when we stop and feel into this eternal quality, which feels like we are always and forever here now. The is-ness is our infinite nature. And this can only be experienced when we are living fully in the now, exploring life from a relaxed, trusting connection. The divine is-ness is the most accepting, healing, forgiving energy one could imagine. The is-ness is the source of deep eternal love, which when even momentarily welcomed, we instantly feel the most profound, ecstatic joy inside our hearts. The knowing that we are eternal spiritual beings moves through us throughout the day, like a healing river of eternal liquid love. The very second we surrender our hearts to just the idea of an eternally loving is-ness, we immediately find real peace, a sense of bliss, and a feeling of real satisfaction that cannot be compared. Knowing this is-ness is our basic nature. We start radiating like the sun and start shining our own spiritual essence into everyone in our lives. The only reason we may not feel, believe, and know that God is right here within the very center of our bodies, soul, and heart right now is because of one thing blocking the way. Our overly busy, demanding, controlling, and desiring minds. As long as the mind is wanting something, willing something, thinking it is lacking something, trying to reach a better place other than the great is-ness that's here now, we will easily miss our spiritual path. We will find ourselves living in thoughts about God instead of experiencing the real divinity. If and when we get too lost in the head, we might end up walking into some highly intellectual, materialistic, and spiritually dry future. The God source is infinitely complex, yet deeply simple. You may find that God is actually quite easy to experience. The trick is learning what it takes to fully be here now. To feel the divine is-ness, we must choose to first begin feeling whatever is up for us in this moment. We must choose to explore how we can let go of the mind and open ourselves up emotionally, feeling everything that is here now when we call off the mental search, looking for God out there, and simply feel into the core essence of our being We find that we have been the ones who were hiding and protecting ourselves from the divine. God has always been here, is always here, radiating within every atom in existence. As we drop deeper beneath the thinking mind and through our blocked emotions, we discover the greatest source of peace, silence, and stillness. And this is where God abides. There's Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. That is you speaking to you. Perhaps the most radical truth that any of us may discover or have discovered about this human existence is this. We humans are either existing in some form of suffering or living in some form of bliss. We are either in one or the other. We are either living up in our heads or we are in the heart of God. Once we quiet the mind, open our hearts together, we can live a balanced life in both realms of head and heart. Doing this, we then start merging with the infinite mind of God. If and when we can remain in this balance 24 hours a day, we will master. If and when we can remain in this balance 24 hours a day, we will master this lifetime. Then every thought we think manifests into forming our living reality. By living in constant emotional connection with the divine from our core, we become a living, bliss-breathing manifestation machine, perpetually creating every beautiful idea we feel and focus upon. There are not many things guaranteed in life. Yet one thing that is 100% guaranteed in this is this. At some point, we are going to return to God. It will happen either when your body is still alive or when your body stops breathing. Eventually, we all will feel intimately connected with God again. So do not worry about when or how. All roads lead back to God. The path ahead and the path behind us both lead back to God. God is unavoidable because our past and future are just mental concepts which only exist within this living present moment. The mind alone is always blind to the divine. It is only with a quiet, surrendered mind that we may access an open, receptive heart, which can see God in everyone and everything. The mind just doesn't want to realize how ignorant it actually is. It doesn't want to see how powerless, unfulfilled, and trapped it is. As this would cause a huge embarrassment to the ego. When we spiritually wake up, the mind realizes its petty search in the outer world to finding everlasting satisfaction is spiritually fruitless. Only when the mind surrenders to God do we discover what absolute bliss feels like. Otherwise, the mind will continue to persist in its addictive habits of seeking fulfillment in the outer world. It will ignore seeing how true bliss is available here now, as it needs to continue its addictive search for years, decades, and lifetimes. The mind is always trying to get its desires met by people. Food, substances, money, ideas, and is in the habit of constantly yearning for something. Yet, as we all know, once the mind gets what it wants, it's happy for a short while, then is back on the hamster wheel again, searching for fulfillment again. The mind is deeply unaware that it can never, ever be truly satisfied. It's unaware. It's good to know that whatever happens in this life, there are no real mistakes. God is an infinitely positive, creative energy, and this fierce force does not know what a mistake is. Every mistake that we perceive to be real or true is simply the mind forming another judgment. There is universal right? There is universal right or wrong book. Deeper shades of truth, in which each higher layer only reveals a lighter perspective on our enlightening mission we are here to learn. I believe that one of the greatest goals of life is to find that God source inside us 24 hours a day. This is the only thing which truly satisfies. Everything else falls vastly short. Feeling into your own personal, intimate connection with the divine is the most important thing you can do with your time each day. Everything else you do is going to be the ego seeking some form of gratification, which of course will not last. Beware of the ego, as it is easily caught in complaints, negativity, and creating problems that weren't there before. Your only job is to move beyond your ego. Transcend your small self. Step into the big self that you truly are, that we all are. When you finally surrender to God at the center of your soul, you will know, without a doubt, that you have just discovered the most amazing experience of coming home. See, all of us, I don't really think any of us are exempt. We know what's out there. We really do. Maybe some are little, maybe still blurred, what's out there type thing. And many of us have chosen, because only you can choose. You can't be pushed, shoved, forced, manipulated, seduced into going within. It is your choice only. We all know what it feels like to drop into the heart. Right? You can feel yourself leave the head and you're in the heart. And you notice, you feel this vibration, this energy. It might be very, very minute, very, very subtle. But nevertheless, when you focus on the heart and you're there, you'll feel it. Everyone feels it. See, a lot of the times we just don't focus on it. We don't stay in the now. Now, obviously, we've all had habits, right, through this life. Some good, some not so good. And we find it very difficult to break the habit, as we would say. And the habit, say, you finally say, okay, I kicked that habit. And you feel kind of like release, almost release from a form of bondage that you put yourself in. And by being in the now, because we focus on our breath, easy and slowly in through the nose and easy and slowly out through the mouth, we move into the now. Every time you focus on your breath, you're in the now. Every time you listen to your breath, you're in the now. Now, the ego mind, it doesn't exist in the now. It's only in yesterday or tomorrow. So it, it will do everything it can to seduce you back into yesterday and tomorrow. And this is when we suffer. And isn't it interesting, because we've all, we've gotten in this habit that isn't, it's not real simple to break for many, to eliminate, of being in yesterday and tomorrow, and believing that is the way it's supposed to be, right? This is the way this life is. I mean, you're going to be yesterday, tomorrow. But the truth is, every single one of us only have the now. None of us can actually, precisely, completely, without even a smidgen, not even a quark of doubt, say that we will be here tomorrow. So we focus on the now. And see, what happens is that this is where we practice being what? Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves all the time, no matter what's going on around you. And in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude. These are, the state of gratitude opens up the God within. And we've all experienced where we get, we kind of wander off and we're complaining about this and we're talking about this. And it's not the way I wanted it to be, and it didn't come out this way, and I wanted it to be this way, and I'm not going to do this, and so on and so forth. Rather than just kicking back in the now and saying, I am deeply grateful for this very moment. And you send that energy from the heart. Huge difference, huge transformation. Some people say, well, I'm going to miss out on out there, material, physical world. So I got to be a part of it. Not really. You, all of us, can enjoy it, but not be in it. Right? It's like, you go swimming, right? You go to a swimming pool. You swim, right? You have fun. Get some exercise. But you don't stay in the pool 24/7 forever. You leave. You move forward and you leave. But you had fun. You participated in it. You wanted to do that. But you didn't stay in it. It's the same with out there. We enjoy it. We created it to entertain ourselves, right? It's just like going swimming in the pool. So we enjoy it. But we don't step in it. We aren't in it. You know what I mean? See, in the pool, you swim and everything, and you're in the pool, right? But you don't stay there. You're in the physical material world, but you don't stay there. You go, you have fun, you leave. Because most of our time is spent discovering the God within. We discover the God within. We don't care to leave our God within these bodies. So you have your soul, okay? Everybody knows this. But in the center of the soul is the God, okay? You have your soul, but the center of the soul is the God. That's who you truly are. That's who all of us are. So, we forgot because we got so tied up in the material physical world. Easy to do. Thousands and thousands of lifetimes. It's easy to do. We all go out and we seek homes, right? We go out and find a home and stay here, wherever, right? But we are always home. See? We're always home. Because we are the God within this body. This is where humanity is moving to. Right? This is the transformation of mankind, humanity. This is why for some, it's not real fun because they're so heavily steeped in the material physical world. Is that a bad thing? No, not really. Transitioning, ascending, transcending, evolving. Because we all know that this old Earth, right, the lower dimensional frequency Earth, we can no longer be there. Our frequencies continue to increase. Some people consciously, to a certain extent. Other people unconsciously. And then there are those who are still in amnesia that might take, who knows, maybe several more lifetimes. So with each waking moment, each step that we choose to take for ourselves within, we then begin to see. Truly see. Not blindly. Clearly. So we affect all the vibrational frequencies around us. And many of us really don't know to what extent that is. But it is massive. And we all know what it's like, right? To walk or to be with a group of people that are happy. No particular reason. They're happy. And you feel it. And it's like this is, this energy, this frequency is really phenomenal. And you find yourself starting, you interact with these people because you don't really want to leave. You ever done that? You ever come across people you really don't know, right? But there's a familiarity. And how many times you said, you know what, it seems like I've known you for lifetimes. And why is that? Because the God within them and the God within you are one. And at times, some of us, this is what happens. Some of us connect, and a lot of us don't know what the heck's happening. And Matt, picture this. When we do, when each of us find the God within, the soul within us, right, that we truly are, this love that you experience is 1,000,000,000,000 times more than romantic love. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the depth of bliss, continual bliss that you would experience? The depth of joy, kindness, gentleness that you would experience just by discovering who and what you really are. So and we know, I think a lot of us know this. I think some try to, not visit it because they're fearful. But every physical form across this universe and across all of the connecting universes is for us, the gods, to experience. Doesn't matter if it's a planet. You know, we've all, just don't remember, we've all been planets. So different than, it's so different than being a tree. You're not actually the tree, but you're the god in the tree, and you experience the physical existence of the tree. Do you picture that? Everything is a part of the God that you are within the soul, within that body. I mean, it's major discovery. And how exciting is that for all of us? It's almost like uncharted territory. Depending on how we've navigated this life. And guess what? We're all going there. Every single one of us. Some sooner than later. Do you really believe that once you rediscover who and what you are, do you really believe that you'll go back to yesterday and tomorrow? And every time the ego mind pulls you out of the now, right? You're gentle, kind, and generous with yourself. You're in deep eternal gratitude. You say to yourself, I'll focus on my breath, I'll be in the now. 3,000% of the time. 3,000% of the time, which is all every single time. It's being aware. Now we all know that when we go into the material physical world with the ego mind, yesterday and tomorrow, we suffer. Disappointments, irritabilities, moods, revenge, hatred, fear, envy, it goes on and on, stress, anxiety. But many believe that that is the natural state of life. The natural state of life. We've been trained to believe that. Then we begin to discover that we didn't come here to suffer. We came here to enjoy the physical form that we're in, this life. And people say, well, I thought this was life. I thought that this was the life that we all experience at different, levels and understandings of this life. I thought that the material physical world that's life. I thought that God was separate from me and was in the sky, and I was not powerful, right? I was insignificant. People saying that they're insignificant, they don't have any power, they're minuscule, little old me, and all of those beliefs. And the opposite is the truth. So in the quiet time of this meditation that's coming up, choose. Some are beginning to go within years ago, others just now, others in between, and others not at all. But you sense and you feel in the heart-mind when you're focused on your breath that the reason that this planet is going through such a massive transformation from the pure evil to the bliss and joy of the light of God, which is all of us, is because of us. Each and every single one of us, the gods that we are, that's the reason why. And it's every single moment in the now. It is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. It is growing and expanding endlessly. Does it ever stop? So we create this God planet paradise. It's already God planet. Billions of gods inhabiting physical forms to experience those forms. And it got mucked up, and we're absolutely cleaning it to a pristine energetic frequency. Then, God planet paradise. Makes a lot of sense. Will you suffer in that new earth? No. Because you've made the choice and the decision that you'll enjoy the material physical world that you created to entertain yourself, but you won't be in it. You'll enjoy it, but you won't be in it. You won't be on the hamster wheel. You won't be the dog chasing its tail. You won't be someone running in place and never going anywhere. All of those depictions that we visualize, you'll be in complete bliss, joy, happiness. And we can start seeing these things clearly for ourselves, awareness. Then we begin to realize, why in the heck would I ever stay in that pool for the rest of this life? And as I've mentioned before, we continue to discover ourselves, right? And then all of the perspectives that we've acquired, judgments on ourselves and everything, begin to melt away, and this civilization will slowly graduate into higher levels of frequency and become a superhuman civilization. This is the next evolutionary jump for humanity, for mankind. There are already people on this planet that fly, right? There are already people on this planet that have super strength, and I'm not talking about artificially. There have always been superheroes on this planet. They just have never revealed themselves. I wonder why. I think you'll have that answer almost instantaneously. And knowing that you are the one, right? That you are God, you are the universe, and everything in it, and outside of it, you'll begin to understand that, well, the God that I am is part of everything, part of all civilizations and creations and everything. So therefore, the God that I am can travel throughout existence and beyond in a blink of the eye. Do you see the perspectives, the distractions? They are everywhere. We create them. But see, eventually, we learn, we observe, and things begin to open up. Knowing that the soul in that body and the center of that soul is God. And that's who you truly are. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy, slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out in the mouth. Be still. Every day, human suffering has become normal. This is caused by one basic thing: unconscious thought patterns and habits. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call. And tomorrow, Thursday, August 11th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call.